Okay. This is long overdue, but what I have here is the book review of Perfect Union of Contrary Things, the Maynard Keenan biography. I'm just going to try to go over it real fast. It keeps kicking me off here. Apparently there's a time limit. I got to fix that. But first off, very good book. If you're a fan of Tool, A Perfect Circle, Puscifer, Maynard in general, it's definitely worth a read. Not going to lie. I'm going to be honest, the book starts out kind of slow, like when he was a little kid, but it gradually starts getting better. And it really does. That's no bullshit. Like when he was in high school, like I never knew Maynard was like a star, like an all-star fucking cross-country runner. He was. And same with like wrestling. I think his dad was his wrestling coach, and his cross-country coach was actually one of his first mentors he ever had. I thought that was pretty interesting. But it goes from there up until when he was in the Army. And, from there going to Boston, working at the pet shop and meeting, some long life friends that he did meet in Boston. And then from Boston, going to LA and yada, 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 the whole story. But, no, just to mention, interesting stuff was that he used to, like, just for the fuck of it, I think he thought it was funny, it probably humored him, but, like, he used to go visit tarot readers. And some pretty interesting shit on that was there was one when he was still in Boston that he went and saw that told him that he should try moving to Los Angeles for a little while, and that's kind of how he ended up there. And then there was another one like later on after Tool got going that he went and saw when Paul D'Amour was still in the band. But she mentioned those two names to him. She mentioned somebody named Paul and somebody named Justin from England, London, wherever he was from. And lo and behold, like not too long after that, Paul D'Amour leaves the band and they end up recruiting Justin Chancellor from London. It was pretty interesting shit. And then there's been a lot of like talk over the years about Maynard being sexually abused as a child. The book kind of talks about that a little bit. He was never himself actually sexually abused, but his mother, Judith, was by, I believe, the way he puts it in the book is like a classic creepy uncle kind of. And yeah, he talks about that a little bit and how he, even though it never happened to him, he carried the trauma around from that. It was passed on to him. But pretty good book though, man, just about how Maynard just kind of evolved gradually throughout his life, and he always did his own thing. It gets really good by the time he gets to Boston and he's working at the pet shop, and from there he goes to Los Angeles when they start forming Tool. That's when it gets really exciting, at least for me. That's when I couldn't put the fucking book down. I'd stay up all night fucking reading it. It was good shit. But for me, the end of the book, like after it gets through like Tool and like all the shit they were doing to A Perfect Circle and Puscifer, after that, when it gets into the winemaking, and this is like the last little chunk of the book, it kind of starts dying down a little bit. I thought it started getting kind of boring. I did finish reading all of it, but I know it's where he met Laylee, or whatever, however you pronounce her name. It's his current wife now. It was like his soulmate, as he claims in the book. But yeah, definitely a good read. If you haven't checked it out yet, I would highly recommend doing it, because if you're a Tool fan or if you're just a Maynard fan in general, this book will definitely offer you some good value. It's definitely a good read. You'll get a nice little charge off it like I did. But and there was some stuff he talked about, like just shit he's been through in his life that, I could kind of relate to a little bit, and I thought it was cool. It was definitely one of my favorite books, one of the best books I ever read. I found it very inspiring, to tell you the truth. But on that note, if you haven't checked this book out yet, A Perfect Union of Contrary Things, I will put a link down below to go to Amazon where you can check it out if you want to buy it or not. It's up to you, but I would recommend this book to anybody. So if you're a fan, you should definitely check it out. When I bought it pre-ordered. I bought the hardcover. I believe now they do have like Kindle versions, and you can get it a lot cheaper than what it was when it first came out. But yeah, I mean, by all means, man, if you're into any of this, definitely you get the money, check it out. Definitely a good read. I will put a link down below in the video that'll take you to it to Amazon. So on that note, there's the book review, and I will talk to you later. Peace.